I'm making a video about society and the future of a society and what we learn from history and where your society ends up going. What is the progression of a society and how the changes affect people. And of course there's a lot of complicated things in there, your rights. Every society develops their own ideologies about what is right and wrong and where it progresses from there, and who comes into power to try to change these rights into different rights. Sure, everybody wants their rights, everybody wants their own idea of what is right from wrong. Even in the society where you've made up all the rules and the laws, you still will have your own idea of what you still feel is right from wrong, even from those laws that other people have made. So I'm going to go back in time to the Roman Empire time and what their society was like, what they felt was right from wrong, and how they survived. And usually how a society survives is the abundant group of humans join together and they develop technologies and abilities to survive off a harsh land. And they developed a lot of stuff, aqueducts where it runs water from one place to another area. They washed all the time. That was a big thing about survival, because when you get sick you die. Back then you didn't have any doctors. You took care of your own health or you died. So that's another progression and change. So now I'm going to get to how far technology has changed and how would you survive if the grid fell. Let's say a big EMP hit from the sun and wiped all of our technology out. That means nothing with technology would work. Not even your cars or your motorcycles. The electricity that runs your houses, when the electricity or the power grid goes down, everybody's going to freak out. Because in this society that we live nowadays, we've abundantly become reliant on technology. So let's say a month goes by and there's no food sources being produced from one area to another because they can't, because the grid's down. And you may not realize it, but everything that keeps you alive has to do with your power grid. This refrigerator that you keep all your little condiments and your milk and your orange juice and your leftovers, your butter, it's all kept refrigerated. And you say, well, I'll just eat canned foods. Well, guess what? The power grid with mass production also produces these cans. Here at the top of it, there's a little crimping area, and a machine does that and puts the food inside this can. And then a semi-tractor, which uses a battery, and if a EMP hits, the batteries in all vehicles will be shut down. And say, well, I'll just get a new battery. Well, let's say all batteries are destroyed and they have to produce in mass production more batteries. And guess what? They have to get the grid back up just to start that, just to make batteries to put them out on the market again for you to drive your vehicles. and we've become reliant on so much technology. I mean, because back then, I mean, just in my lifetime, we developed something called the cell phone. Nowadays, you can call each other from long distance in your car or wherever. That's what a lot of people are doing nowadays. And now you can get on the internet and talk to each other. And this is your mode of survival. Well, I'm stuck. Somebody's attacking me. I'm going to call 911, emergency. But if the grid goes down, you will have none of that. You'll be sitting right here like this, going, where do I go? What do I do? My lawnmower don't work. I can't mow the grass. And everything will grow up like this. So your reliance will be on what you have left. What's have you saved up to survive on? Well, there's my bicycle. I could ride a bicycle around wherever I go, but if everybody's panicking and wanting to get some food and killing each other, you're not going to be riding your bicycle around anywhere. And most likely they'll probably kill you for the bicycle, just so they can get around. And if something breaks down on that bicycle, how are you going to get there? How are you going to go to your local bicycle shop through thousands of people that are starving to death and hungry and killing each other? Society will break down completely, and you'll be wondering, what the hell do I do? So Ted Kaczynski was correct, and that's a guy that made a manifesto. I think that's what they called it. And he says society will be destroyed by its own technology. What will they do? And he took it upon himself to kill people to get his ideas put through to the media, so that he was really adamant about getting people to pay attention to what he's saying. He was wanting to make sure that all of our society got his ideas in their head. So many thousands of years from now, this may occur. And I mean, let's say the EMP hits right now, I mean, you'll be in deep shit. But I'm saying many thousands of years, as time changes and technology keeps developing, and you're relied on all this technology, and you become weaker and weaker, because no longer people work with their hands anymore, because they're using machines to do all their work for them. What do you think you will do if the grid falls and future humans are going to be even weaker than we are? They'll be sitting around in their houses constantly on computers. Kids don't go outside and play like they used to, and if they do go outside, they end up killing each other. So that's the progression of society. So when you want your rights and things change to the order in which you want it, you have to fight in your own way. What would you do if society broke down? And do you think you could rely on your neighbors? And that's another thing. Do you think your neighbors would come out and help you dig a garden to grow you some food? Defend your neighborhood from marauding bands of people that want to kill you for your food. The food which you're digging that garden up. Because when they come through, they ain't coming through to be friendly. You might think that, and I've seen some videos where somebody's like, well, we'll just be nice to them and they won't kill us. We'll give them all the food and stuff of what they need, but you got thousands of people running over you, and you decide, well, there's no way I'm going to defend myself and fight them off. I'm just going to let them kill me, because it won't be worth the world to live in if that's the way I got to live. And that's the way it will be, because I'm telling you, when people are starving to death, they are not going to be friendly with you. So the progression of society, and your rights and what you feel that you need at that time is the development of your technologies, partially. So we always heard from our grandparents, well, this is the way it was when I was a kid, and then your great grandparents, and then they, you don't think nothing about this. You feel like you really ignoring them. You're really not, but still, you're hearing them. And as time goes on and you've lived your life, you realize these people are talking some sense. They've lived so long, they know what they're talking about, how society has changed. Because in their time, just within these 100, 200 years, technology has developed so far ahead of what it was like when they were kids. They know how the changes are, but the people that are being born nowadays don't understand it, because they're being born in a time, this is the way it is. And then as they get older, they're going to also see changes, and technology will change for that too. I mean, just look at the phone change, the differences in phone. It used to be a little rotary dial thing, or if you wanted a car phone, there was this big old huge block and it was attached to your vehicle. You didn't have cell phones where you walked around and carried them in your pockets or got on the internet and looked up stuff. So never ignore your elders, because your elders knows where things come from and how things are going to change, and the development of society that will change your thoughts on rights. I have the right for this, I have the right for that. Whatever your thoughts are is on you. And at one time, black people weren't allowed to use the same water fountain as white people, and that's just here in America, I believe, is what was going on. I know that there's been slavery throughout history, but as time went on, they fought for their rights and developed the rights, and society has changed. And now there's the fighting for gay rights, and how that will change society, I don't know. I mean, if everybody becomes able to marry another human of the same sex, I don't know how that will change society, but it will remain to seen. Because like right now, we're looking at this video, and as time changes, I will be able to pop back on here and tell you what has changed and how society has changed. So many things has happened in our past, and if we were to tell people 100 years ago this is how things have changed, they'd be freaked out. They would have no idea how to cope with how society has changed. Now I'm going to get into the weird part. And the weird part is, there's been rumors that the alien species that we keep thinking might have come from other planets may be from our own Earth in a different timeline. They've come up from the future to who knows what their agenda is, but it seems to me like if they are us in the future, we have become little, pale, hairless, with big eyes type of creatures. And that is, I mean you can see that the difference between the past humans and now. I mean, a lot of us humans we're not hairy like we used to be. A lot of us are the hair's all falling out, and we've become like a bald type of human. So if that's the progression of what we're going to become a pretty weak type of human that doesn't isn't handy. Probably not manufacturing type. Probably all machines do all our work for us. So we become so weak and lazy and content with living from machines that now we're a little teeny tiny, skinny legs, skinny arms with a big head and big eyes. So if that's the truth, why did they come back here to the past? Are they trying to warn us of our impending doom? Are they just coming back to check out a society at which maybe we change? Maybe they're trying to tell us little things, maybe something we can do to change, to become what they are. Maybe they're sharing their technology with us. Maybe they figure they'll develop us to where maybe the doom won't occur, if this is true, because this is just all hypothesis. The main thing is what I'm getting at is when it comes to survival, you only have yourself to rely on and those that decide to be civil with you if the grid breaks down. But in the long run, if society never does break down, we keep continuing the way we are, you're going to have to learn to live with each other and develop and become a society to progress and keep going. And one of the big parts that I always think about is overpopulation. And if we keep developing more and more humans and we don't have the structure to sustain that many humans, we'll end up becoming like Africa. They'll have a famine happen, and there'll be so many humans that they can't feed or hell, just clothing, and they don't even live off technology like we do, and they all died off. So if we can't sustain our society with the amount of humans that we have, we are definitely a doomed society. And we are a doomed society if we don't have humans also. If we end up becoming a society of non-procreation type of humans, then we are doomed, because without a future source of new human being born, the society will die off. I mean, you look down in South America, there's big pyramids that are down there, and the whole society's gone. And all you see is just the buildings that they had built. I don't know what happened to that society, but that's my idea of what society would become like when it becomes unsuccessful. So if all humans decide, well, we're not going to breed with each other anymore, and we decide we're all going to become anisexual, then we will die off. But now we are developing something called cloning, and that could be another reason that our species would want to warn ourselves, because after a while of cloning something over and over and over and over, you become a weak species. That's why humans always end up looking for another stronger human to breed with, male or female, either way, because they want the DNA structure to stay strong. That way your species survives. Because if you pick weaker humans, your species ends up becoming a dead-end road, because you become so weak that you don't have the ability to do anything. You become blind and deaf, and you end up becoming a whole society of non-procreating, being able to survive. Hell, I don't even know what word to use. So anyways, without strong humans, society doesn't survive. And there's that old saying, the strongest survive. I don't know where our society is headed. I don't know how the changes in our technology will bring us about. But this is a video that someday I will be able to look back on and say to myself, well, this is what we used to be like, and this is how I thought about things. And I guarantee you, as time goes on, I will think differently about how society has changed. and how it will change in the future. So it's all to be seen. So that's my thought about the human race, and maybe it gave you some thoughts in your own head about what society will become and how it will change and how it will affect you and those around you. JoJo out.